In the 90s, Playmates Toys made the deepest line of Star Trek action figures in history. My name's Keith, and I'm a collector working towards owning all 284. I've been a Trek fan for almost 35 years, and most people are sick of me talking about it. But somehow I've convinced my old friend Mike to review them with me on Look at My Star Trek Toys! What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Look at My Star Trek Toys, a little show where I'm Keith, and my buddy Mike, that's Mike, we talk about my Playmates Star Trek Action figures, and we've had a lot of fun on the show. We broke some news last week about the upcoming line, and today we have a very special episode, as you can tell, because look, I'm talking to you from across the room, so something must be up. Mike, are you excited?
So excited, I feel a little large in the frame, but it's all for good. It's all for good reason.
I feel a little large in the frame too. We all have to get over it.
Yeah, it's been so nice hearing from all of you about your excitement about the new line. Some of you not so much excitement, maybe quite the opposite. But hey, you know what? What's I don't know who said it, but somebody said, as long as you feel something, and there are feelings being had.
That's true. We're not dead inside. That's really the important part. But, honestly, not to go off topic immediately, but our buddy JD from JD's Customs did a video where he, because a lot of discussion about whether the figures are 4.5 inches or 5 inches, and whether that makes a big difference. And JD did something real smart, and he got out a bunch of the old figures and a measuring tape. And a lot of the original figures were verging on 5 inches anyway. I mean, the Worf figure was already 5. Later in the series, they were slowly getting a little bigger. So the Cisco was pretty much 5. So I'm reasonably confident, thanks to what we heard from Playmates and what we heard from our buddy JD, that I think everybody can just take a deep breath. These are going to fit. It's going to be fine.
I will say, Keith, that it's been cool to do all the news. It's been cool to do the customs. So many fun things we've been doing. But if I recycle back in time in my brain here, and I remember the best part of getting those toys for me, and I think for many of our viewers and for you, was popping them open and checking them out for the very first time. And so today, Keith, I believe that is the route we are going to go, and I am pumped for it.
That is exactly what we're going to do. And before we do it, I want to thank our generous benefactor who has sent me, out of the kindness of his heart, a whole mess of figures and play sets and ships that we are going to be unboxing and opening for the first time right here on the show. And that is Pat from Rochester, New York. We are so grateful. We really appreciate it. I went to school in Rochester, New York, so I am very familiar and fond of the city. So, what are we doing today, Mike? Today, we are unboxing a Romulan Warbird. Now, this is from the 1993 Playmate series. This is ship number 6154. So, now, if you remember, when we were talking about the figures, you were asking, hey, why are there gaps in the line numbers, in the item numbers? And I didn't have a good answer. Well, part of it is to make room for the ships, because they are these would be series 2 of the figure line, and so of course they had to have a hole for the ship number. So it's very exciting. Now we have a very exciting episode for you today, because we are set up. We are going tri-cam. So, just to show off our fun toys, because I'm proud that we were able to figure it out. Let's go to top cam. There it is. We're going to show you unboxing from here. And we want to get some details. Let's go to side cam. Boom. Here we are. Some of the fun things about this, and we're going to talk through the entire thing. We're going to do all the stuff, which I'm really excited about. But these boxes have never been opened. These are completely intact all together, and we're going to do all of these play sets and ships. And in fact, this particular figure, this particular box, let's go to side cam because you might notice that these ships have a little display here to press here to see if the sound effects still work. And you want to hear something cool? I'm going to take it over closer to the mic. Those batteries still work from 1993 here
Wow.
in this box.
Wow.
How cool is that? So let's talk about the box. First off, you're noticing right here, this was purchased at Toys R Us for a total of $23.92.
Okay.
So that's back in 1993, that's probably like $40, which is about what the new sets are going to be. So the box here, the very traditional next gen boxes. This is the figures also sort of look like this. So here is the front of the box. Here we can see a painting of the Romulan Warbird. Now, Mike, as a novice Star Trek fan, have you ever seen a Romulan Warbird in an episode?
In an episode, and I believe in one of the movies, there's a kind of a cool shot and a cool scene. And I remember an episode with Picard, with a straight on. There's like a back and forth dialogue between the two bridges, and then every once in a while they'll cut away to like a wide shot of the Romulan Warbird. So I am familiar.
And I mean, I frankly think this is the coolest looking ship.
Hmm.
It's such a cool design that they built for next gen. Now, if you're counting at home, this is a Dideridex class ship. And there were a couple of different Romulan Warbirds throughout the original series, but this was one created just for next generation. All right, so let us take a look at this. So that's the front. Here is the back. We have a little bit more information about the various things that come with this, with a little bio about the ship itself. And check this out. These are kind of cool. Ooh, let me see if I can. I'm like weathermanning right now, trying to get my finger to line up with the camera I see in front of me.
Yeah, I'm trying to live direct a show, so Keith and I we'll get the hang of all these new fancy toys, but we're we're also doing it 100 miles apart. So
we're doing it live.
Bear with us.
100 miles apart. But they are starting to promote Deep Space Nine, which had not even aired when these ships were built and made. And you can see also they're going to be advertising some of the other sets and ships, and we might have a couple of those that we're going to look at later. So so that's basically the box. Now I think it's time to see what's in the box. What do you say, Mike?
I think that's a great idea.
Okay, so I've already cut the tape on the side, and so we're going to let me see what the best camera angle is. I'll do it from the side. Here we go. Right. So we'll go from the side angle here. And all right, first off, we have all right. It looks like we have information on the ship, some sort of a technical blueprint. So let's take a look at the technical blueprint. And here it is. So so we have deflector grid, warp engine to cells, aft disruptors. So if you're ever watching the show and wondering what are all the pieces here on the ship, either Playmates made that up or that was part of the show Bible that they gave Playmates. So very cool. The blueprint is actually blue. That's neat. And then we have instructions where the batteries go. The batteries that still function, which are crazy. So let us. Oh, here we go. Now we have an advertisement for the Deep Space Nine line and the classic Trek.
Keith, before you open that up, talk to us a little bit. Fill us in. Is this weird? I don't know if it's weird. The smells were always important too. What are we getting? I know it's a little bit older, but what are we smelling? Fresh? Are we a little stale in the box, or what do we got?
No, I mean these have obviously been kept very well, and they've obviously been kept dry, and so there isn't like that musty smell that you're expecting. Although inside the actual packaging here, we do have a little bit of must, but these were obviously like stored in a in a pristine fashion, which is cool. So inside here we have some advertisements. So of the this looks like Series 2 of the next gen, and you can see what is available ships. And then they're going to do some Deep Space Nine, which is interesting. That they have they're advertising a full. Actually, no, I'll go from the side here. They're advertising a full line of the Deep Space Nine figures, but you'll note there they did not do a Jake yet, and that's not Gul Dukat, who they ended up doing as a Cardassian. So they were obviously choosing to do some of these, or putting out the ad well before they had the line designed, because it was before the show had aired. So these are a lot of promotional photos, and that is I don't know what Gull that is, but that's a screenshot from Next Gen. That's not even a promotional shot from Deep Space. They might not have even cast Gul Dukat yet at this point. So lots of interesting. It just says Cardassian, whereas it eventually was named as Gul Dukat. So lots of cool little trivia stuff that happens when you do these things in pre-production. So let's continue forward. We have just nice protective cardboard, in case you ever wondered how they ship these things. This looks like a human being had to sort of retrofit something here. That must have been a fair amount of work to get that to line up. So here is the moment of truth. Let's take her out. And she is also in a more protective cardboard. All right, so that is the end of the box. The box is empty now. And let's take a look at the Warbird here. All right, so we have some ties here, keeping all of this together. And this is the compartment where the batteries are. The batteries, which are still working.
Wow.
Unbelievable. And there's an on-off switch here, which is clearly on, because otherwise it wouldn't be working. But how cool is that? The batteries are...
You seem to have come unprepared. You got to have scissors with you, yeah, right? This is getting these wires, the twisties undone is always a pain in the butt.
I've got better than that. I've got a box cutter.
Yeah,
so we're going to just sort of take this apart very carefully, because although obviously I'm taking it out of the box, I want to make sure that the ship stays in pristine condition. And we're going to get her nacelles clear here. Before giving to a child, please cut and remove all plastic attachments. That's probably a good idea for the adults as well. And we have a lot of very complex cardboard configurations here to get these ships shipped safely, which is pretty impressive. Because I think a person had to do that. Okay, so here she is. And she's free. So we have more 30-year-old cardboard to set aside. And here she is with her... she's still taped in. Let's get her loose. Alright. So this does not come with the decals and stickers that some of the other ships have. But here she is. Let me get that off. So, according to this, we have sounds and we have lights. Now, I'm not seeing the lights, but it's probably because the batteries are 30-something years old. So, why don't we throw in some new batteries?
Yeah.
And see what happens here. Get these out. Okay. Now,
can you talk to me a little bit about... I notice it from the camera angles. I mean, it's pretty impressive, but it looks a little hollow. Is that by design? Is there something that goes up in there, or is there detailing in that underside?
It is hollow by design. You see through the center there, that is the iconic Romulan Warbird. It has the cutout there, and that's what that is accurate to the ship itself. One of the unique features of it. Um, why? In canon, no idea. Other than it just looks cool. So let's get these in here and see what happens. Come on. Batteries are a little hard to get in. But then again, okay. All right, so the batteries are in. The case is back on. And let's see here. Oh, yes. All right. So, okay, look. Now, if we get up close there, they do light up.
All right.
And so you can see the inside of the nacelles light up. Very cool. I don't know what that does. Very cool. Now, of course, with my family connection, there's a good chance my uncle made those sounds, which he's not getting a quarter every time we play it on the internet. But there it is. Yeah. So it's a little heavier than you expect it to be. It's a pretty solid. It's pretty solid construction. A lot of little details. If we go to the side here, we can try to show you some of the details in the sculpting and the paint. There is a decal in the front with the Romulan insignia there, and maybe I'll show you those phasers lighting up again. Very, very cool. And then you can sort of see it from the back if you want to know what the back end of a Romulan Warbird is. It's very interesting to see it in your hand here, because on screen, it always seems a little bit wider and bulkier than it is here. But I think that has to do with how the 3x4 aspect ratio of this show. But it's really cool. What do you think, Mike?
I like it. At first I was a little put off by the lack of color, and I think the lack of decal. But judging the sort of the characters it's based on, and what you've showed us up close, and with the lights going, I think that that's assuaged my trepidation, and I think it's super cool.
I mean, it's one of my favorite ships. So, all right. So
now, how does it stand? Like, does it wobble when you place it down? Does it have a stand like the figures do? What's that situation?
This is where the early Playmates ships, their liability. They don't have a stand. They did not come with any sort of a stand. So if you want to display it, you need to get a custom stand or some other thing, which is why I have my D actually hanging suspended above the figures, which you've seen in the back of a lot of the shots. So I know a lot of people have sold custom stands for these, which I think would be cool to have, because I want to have these up on my shelf. I have an area for them, and I want to have them on stands, so you can really appreciate how cool they are. So that might be something I look into in the future, figuring out how to do that. One of the things I was wondering, and I have a feeling I'm not the first person to have this idea, so probably a lot of people have already have done it, but what it would take to wire this and power it so the lights were on just full time and as part of the display, so that you would have, especially, when it's a little dark, because I think the, lighting on your shelves, so you have these just lights, very subtle, just on the bookshelf like that. That'd be really cool to have those on static. When I was a kid, what I would do with these ships is I would do the same thing I did with my bookshelf, and I would take fishing line and I would hang them from the ceiling. And so I had this whole complex battle scene hanging from my ceiling above my bed, which was super, super fun. So look, so a couple other things about the ship itself.
We've had a freeze on side cammy.
Side cam. Well, forget side cam. Let's go top cam. Let's go front cam. So about the Warbirds, the Romulans were the ones who had the Warbirds, basically their warships, except for when we started saying that there were Klingon warbirds. And according to Memory Alpha, the only Klingon warbirds existed because Brennan Braga made a mistake in the pilot of Enterprise, Broken Bow, and called it a warbird. And so they had to sort of retrofit canon to say that, oh yeah, the Klingons have warbirds too. They look different, but there it is. One thing that is interesting about this ship in canon is just how giant it is. It is enormous. Crew complement of 1,500 people. It is 1,041 meters long and 772 meters across and 185 meters. So that's like 3,000 feet long. It is giant in canon. And you would see these first on Next Gen, but they definitely made appearances, a lot of them on Deep Space Nine and a couple on Voyager. So very, very cool. I like this toy a great deal. I wish it had a stand, but Playmates rectified that. And as we saw in the new series coming up with the new Enterprise, that does have a stand. So I can't fault them for mistakes they made in 1993. Well, if I can cut myself some slacks with my therapist for the mistakes I made in 1993, it feels fair. So
I think you're right.
Seems reasonable. So now the last thing we should do is put her up against the screenshot and see how well it matches. So here it is. There is our. See if I can get the same angle. Oh, look at! I can't believe I just did that. Looking at it from a camera from above me, from a different side of the room. All right. So a couple of things you noticed there. I wish that it had lights on the front for the windows, because I think that's one of the coolest parts of that detail on the screenshot there. But other than that, I mean, it looks pretty good, yeah?
Not too bad. I think it looks pretty good. I mean, like you said, it would be awesome if we could light properly and get those green lights just permanently illuminated. I think that's the next step. But yeah, real cool.
Yeah, so
that was cool.
See, yeah. All right. Well, there it is. Folks, we have opened our first ship here on Look at My Star Trek Toys. I'd like to once again thank Pat from Rochester, New York, who sent all of these incredible toys and ships. Do we have an Enterprise D bridge set to unbox at some point? We just might. We're going to save that one because I'm too excited about it. But it is done. It is everything I can do. I have this huge stack of these things on the other side of the basement here, and I'm just like, I can't open it, because I want to share it with you here on Look at My Star Trek Toys. Mike, if they would like to reach out and tell us their experiences with the toys, or pretty much anything else, how would they do that?
Hey guys, if you want to talk about what it's like for you to open those toys, hey, maybe there's some reason why you can't right now. Maybe it's financial, maybe it's physical, maybe it's just sheer lack of room that you can't get these toys anymore and open them up, or you just want to relive it. Do it with us. Talk to us about it. Look at my Star Trek Toys at gmail.com. Hey, do it yourself and tag us on the social media at Star Trek Toys. Hey, and also, if you want to send us stuff to open and put together on the internet for all to enjoy, you can do so. Reach out and look at my Star Trek Toys at gmail.com. Keith will tell you how to get stuff to his house, although space, it apparently is limited.
It's becoming more and more so.
But I feel about 8-9 years old inside. I can't wait to film some more of these.
So much fun. Do the obvious stuff. Please like and subscribe and share this with your buddies. The more people who find us, the more stuff we'll be able to do. Super, super fun. So we will be back next week with another ship. I got a stack of them over there. It could be anything. Till then, this has been
Look at My Star Trek Toys!